Thing. Let's call to order. Please remember to silence all cell phones if we can. Ms. Gaskins, would you please call the roll?
Member Davis,
Present.
Member Rosen, Member Brown,
Here.
Member Powell, Vice Chairperson Mendelson,
Present.
and Chairperson Goldenberg,
I am here.
Town Attorney Rubin,
Here.
and Town Planner Allen. Thank you.
Can we all please rise and pledge allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for approval of the agenda. Is there a call to motion to accept or disapprove?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Swearing in of the public, for those giving testimony, please stand and raise your right hand. Be sworn in by the Ms. Gaskins and provide testimony for the application you are affiliated with.
By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
We have approval of the minutes for April 10th, 2025. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I call for a motion. Second,
Second.
all in favor? There is no unfinished business and new business. Development Order Application PZ-25-21, Joannis S. Schuman, is that pronounced properly? Thank you. Application by Breezy Permit LLC requesting a special exception to install a 10,000-pound capacity boat lift for the property located at 1011 Russell Drive, Unit B. Do any board members have any ex parte communications? Hearing none. At this time, Ms. Allen, as always, it's up to you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So we will go ahead and start off with the aerials. The aerials do start on page 12 of your packets. Here you have the subject property. And here you have a view of the rear of the property. So as indicated by the chair, this is a request for a 10,000-pound. It's actually an elevator boat lift. On page 9, I've indicated that they have received FDEP approval. I've provided the file number on the staff report. And according to that FDEP approval, a permit from Army Corps of Engineers is not required. I've also gone ahead and put the definition of boat lift on page 9, and the applicant is in compliance with the definition of boat lift. They actually put on their boat lift detail, the reference to section 30-131 where that definition of boat lift is, and that obviously they'll be in compliance. Let's go ahead and look at their plans. Actually, this is a survey of the property. These are all in your packet, the 11/17 plans. And then here you have the site plan. You could see that the boat lift is right here in the corner. And here you have the detail for the lift. Again, they made that reference to the code. And they've gone ahead and superimposed the lift, or excuse me, the boat. So you could see that the lift is not higher than the superstructure of the boat when lifted. According to section 30-67B, the code, boat lifts require special exception approval by the planning board. And as the board may recall, I've often mentioned it every board meeting for all the agenda items that you review for special exceptions that you may approve with conditions, or deny a request for a special exception. If the planning board approves a request, the applicant will be required to obtain a building permit from the town's building department following approval and prior to initiation of construction. And commencement of construction shall be initiated within 2 years following the approval of the planning board. Staff to review the requests, including the plans, date stamp received April 21st of 2025, and finds that the request is in compliance with the code. I'll be glad to address any questions. There's also an HOA approval that's in part of this packet as well. And we also have the applicant's agent here to address any questions, Miss Eileen Gonzalez.
Thank you. Do any board members have any questions of Ms. Allen? Go ahead, Roger.
Hi, this is a multifamily property, right?
A multifamily zoning, yes.
Is it a multifamily property?
I'm not sure. Are they, yeah, let's look at the aerials. I believe it is, obviously, just based on the aerial. Staff would typically look at what the zoning district is, and the zoning district, dictates what the regulations are. But yes, if you look at the aerial, pull that back up. Yeah, you could see it's obviously a condo or.
So I don't really have a problem with the lift. I just have a question that in a multifamily property, what's required of somebody to put in a lift that takes this much space as opposed to the other homeowners that are living there?
Oh,
We're going to have to,
Oh, it's a,
we'll call you up and you can answer those questions.
well,
okay, I'm sorry. What was the question? that you asked?
maybe it'd be better if she answers the
Okay.
question.
All right. Any other board members have questions of Ms. Allen?
So
Just
he,
1 second, please. Go ahead.
So in the picture of the aerial, it appears that there are 4 existing lifts on that site.
Mhm.
There aren't, only one is shown in the rendering, the architectural drawing. Is one being removed and replaced? And is it in the same location as the other?
so we
You have to
actually.
wait 1 second.
Sorry.
I'm looking at the survey of the property. So on the survey of the property, it just shows the wood dock and there's a reference to boat whips. You're speaking specifically of the aerial, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
This aerial, yeah, this aerial looks like there's 4.
boats here, but there
4
aren't
boats.
there aren't left. That would exist.
Again, I don't see a lift on this survey, would typically be on the survey if there were lifts, but maybe you can answer that.
No, the question's in, I can see in that other picture that it's tied. Boats are tied.
Ooh,
there.
that's
There's
gotta be
no
rough.
Existing list.
Any other questions of Ms.
Yeah.
Allen?
How is putting a boat lift in when you've got those 4 other boats? How is that going to affect maneuverability with those other boats?
Again, they have an HOA approval to put this lift.
Okay.
I don't, there's not a specific slip number that's referenced in the HOA. I guess they'll have to maneuver, how they're going to moor the boats.
But they do have HOA
Yes,
approval.
I do.
Then that's,
Yes, I'll tell you the page number.
So I'm just trying to understand if these are deeded.
yeah, I will do it in a second. Is there any other questions of Ms. Allen? All right, the applicant now may make a presentation. Please identify yourself.
I'm sorry, Chair, if I just may
Sure.
add, the HOA approvals on page 41 from the Shamrock Condominium Association.
Okay. Again, applicant, identify yourself.
Yeah, my name is Eileen Gonzalez. I work with Breezy Permits and I also work with Seaside Marine Construction. We actually just did a dock replacement for this property. I want to say like 6 to 8 months ago now. So it's a brand new composite dock, brand new pilings. And as Ingrid referenced, all those boats, they're just moored there. And they're not moored there all year. Like some of them get moved throughout the year. So they kind of just maneuver. And we do have HOA approval for him to install it within that slip from the president. So.
Any other? Go ahead, Eileen.
So obviously this is an HOA question, but do the HOA documents, if you know,
Mhm.
provide for if somebody else wants to do it and how that would work? Like, or is
So-
it first come, first serve kind of thing?
I think with this property that they all have the opportunity to install a lift, but I think that they have to purchase a slip. So each property owner, if they do want to install a boat lift there, they have the opportunity to, but they have to purchase a slip.
Okay, and how many slips are there? Are there 4 slips?
They don't, this property
Doesn't
doesn't
look
have, they don't have
right.
determined slips, but when we started the process for this, we sent the plans to the president. He looked at them, looked at how the boat was gonna fit on the slip, and that's how they determined it.
And
inside
then
out.
they gave a price and he bought it?
Yeah.
So it's deeded.
Yeah, it's a deeded, he doesn't, these,
No, I don't think they're.
they don't
deeded.
have
I
like
think they have
reference
the
slip
right to
numbers
use-
here.
Right, it's like a use kind of
Yeah.
license.
Cause some,
Right to use.
some HOAs, they have like a deeded slip, like you own that slip. If you want to use another slip, you have to buy it, but this, they don't have it like that set here.
Is the applicant the president of the homeowners association?
No, the president is Joshua Davison. He's the one that we did the doc for actually, but
Okay.
no, it's not the,
Oh,
Do any other board members have a question of the applicant?
Yeah, and Ingrid too, both of you. It looks to me like there are no setbacks on this dock,
there's,
and that's a problem.
well, the dock was replaced within the same exact footprint. It was,
Go ahead.
yeah, it was an exact replacement within the same exact footprint. At first, we weren't even touching the pilings, which is why we didn't end up going through developmental hearing because we didn't touch the pilings at first. We were just proposing a decking replacement. When the guys were out there and they started doing the barge work, the pilings started leaning over. They were a lot worse than it looked like.
Mhm.
They didn't want to spend all the money to replace the pilings. It's a big chunk of money, but we had to. There was no other option. So we went ahead and replaced all the pilings, but the dock is an exact replacement of what was already there.
If you look at the site plan sheet, you will see that there's a 10-foot setback from the property line
For the lift.
for the
Yeah.
lift.
Okay,
and that's what's required, that's what's required for multifamily homes.
It's 5 feet.
5 feet.
5-foot
And
setbacks.
5 feet.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, actually, and
depends on.
the town attorney and I were talking about this. So, the code reads, and I've mentioned this to the board several times when we've had multifamily accessory marine facilities. The code says it's a 5-foot setback, but if it's an interior lot line, then there's a 0 setback. Now, there was some issues with interpreting what the interior lot
Meh.
line is. And I just was speaking with Mr. Rubin this morning. We do have a definition of lot line in the code. So it's everything that's not on a corner. So this property would not have to have a marine site setback.
So this property could have a 0
It could,
setback for
but-
the lift
Right, but what it's providing is a 10-foot setback.
because they're being courteous to their neighbors.
I don't know what the reason is, but they're providing a
I'm
setback.
assuming.
Let's say that.
That's assumed.
That would be a nice reason.
Yeah.
No, I think a 10-foot setback is fair and should be throughout the town. So that's.
We
my
did talk
opinion.
about that at one time, I believe.
We did.
Are there any members of the public, or any other questions of the board? Thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that want to comment? Please come and identify yourself.
Bill Thomas, Unlimited Perm Services, 902 Northeast First Street, Pompano Beach, Florida. One of the reasons you could put a boat lift in is for safety. If you can imagine a boat being next to a dock, a storm blows in. If you don't tie it up right, it could break free. If it's on a lift, it's more secure. The 10-foot setback might be easier for them to get the boat on the lift as opposed to being so close to the property line. So both of them are real good reasons to approve this.
Thank you. Any other board members have any questions of the applicant or the town planner? Then let's consider this public meeting hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor? Now let's call the roll on this one.
Vice Chairperson Mendelson?
Yes.
Member Powell?
Yes.
Member Davis?
Yes,
Member Rosen? Member Brown?
Yes, and I appreciate the 10-foot setback as a courtesy to their neighbors.
And Chairperson Goldenberg.
Yes,
Motion carries.
Thank you.
thank you. Next item on the agenda, development order application number PZ 25-25. Bellito Manor Condominium Association Incorporated, application by Unlimited Permit Services, Inc., requesting a special exception to install a 150-foot dock for the property located at 1101 Bel Air Drive. Do any members of the board have any ex parte communications?
No.
Hearing none at this time again. Ms. Allen, you have the floor.
I think I have, like, that works now. Yes.
Okay.
So here we have the aerials, which start on page 55 of your packets. So here you have the subject property. It's in black letters, might be a little bit hard to see from the PowerPoint. Here's another aerial of the rear of the property. Again, this is a special request to install a 150 square foot wood dock. There's currently a wood dock there, so obviously they will be demolishing and adding a new one. Now, we don't have a record of the original dock or the approval. Get one or get a permit for it, but the permits are kept for 10 years and then destroyed. Back to the planning board. I've indicated on page 52 of your packets that they do have the application with the file number denoted. This particular request does not require Army Corps of Engineer approvals. I did also indicate that there were some discrepancies in your staff report regarding the elevation of the proposed dock and the number of proposed dock piles that were depicted. The applicant went ahead and reached out to FDEP. And starting on page 57, you'll see that correspondence between the applicant and FDEP, whereby they indicate they have no objection to the discrepancies. So we always want to make sure everyone's on the same page. You know, what they submit to FDEP needs to match what they submit to the town. If there are discrepancies, ask out to FDEP and make sure they're clear. Let's go ahead and look at the plans. It's survey. Pretty straightforward.
Let me step back from this one.
Ingrid?
Yeah.
The dock and the cap, how together, how wide is that?
It's on the plans.
Because they said it was 3 feet, but then there's the cap.
So it's 3 feet. It's existing there. So the dock width is 3 feet. And the existing cap, maybe on the survey. Yeah, it's 4. So they're within that parameter of, remember the new code regulations that were
Yes.
adopted, it can't be more than 8.
8,
Right.
right.
So they're in compliance.
Okay.
I have a question.
Eileen?
Ingrid, so this says it's a 2-story multi-unit building. Is this request being put in by the HOA, the association? I mean, who's making this request?
Right,
if
if
it's
you look at
multi-unit?
page 53 of your packet, you'll see that the applicant is the Bolito Manor Condominium Association.
Okay, so it's for the whole condo.
That's correct.
I see. Okay.
Any other questions of staff? Is there an applicant here that wants to make a request? Make a presentation? Again, identify yourself.
Bill Thomas, Unlimited Permit Services, 902 Northeast First Street, Pompano Beach, Florida. And I'd just like to say all these structures are getting old. They're falling apart. They're deteriorating and they just need to be replaced.
Any questions? Thank you.
Oh, one question.
Oh,
Are you making sure that it's going to be the higher height? Because
the
I
seawall?
believe we
Same height as-
approved that things, if you're replacing, they have to be a little bit higher.
Right. That only applies to the seawall.
Seawalls.
We don't have a minimum height for docks. It's the seawalls that have to be at base flood elevation or higher.
I have a question. Is there a reason why you put in wood instead of synthetic? Is there a price difference
Yeah,
or
there's
is
a
there,
big price difference between the plastic wood and the normal.
so the wood is
decks.
less money?
Yes, a lot less.
Splinters.
That's not his problem.
Yeah, I don't swing hammers. I push pens.
Are there any members of the public that have any comments? Hearing none, thank you. The public hearing is now closed. We need a motion to vote on this.
I move we approve development order application number PZ 2525.
Second,
Second.
Could we have a,
Member Davis,
Yes.
Member Rosen, Member Powell, Member Brown,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Middleton.
Yes.
And Chairperson Goldenrod.
Yes.
Goldenberg, excuse me.
goldenrod, goldenberg, whatever, here?
Some gold.
Sorry.
Yes. All right. I'd like to make a point of personal privilege at this point. My term limit is coming to an end. And it was a privilege and an honor to serve on this board and as a member and as chairman. I want to thank all the board members for their support, the previous and current members. And especially want to thank Ms. Ingrid Allen for making this so easy to deal with and understandable, and her hard and extremely appreciative work that she's done for this board. Thank you all. And now nomination of chairperson. and
Hold
vice
on a
chair.
minute. Eric, I think the board also wants to thank you
Oh,
for all
thank
the
you.
time and effort that you have put into this. And clearly your enthusiasm and your interest have shown all the time. And just want to make sure that we all thank you.
Second.
Thank you. And, you know, after my 1 year sabbatical, I might turn up like a bad penny, so be careful. All right, nominations of chairperson and vice chairperson.
I nominate Eve Rosen for chairperson.
Anybody's. allowed to
Anyone can nominate, doesn't even require a second, as long as Miss Rosen, do you accept the nomination? Okay, yes, Roger, you can.
All right,
Yes, we can.
Eileen, would you take it?
I would.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none? There are no other nominations? I guess we should vote on this. Do we
Yes.
want to have a closed vote? Do you have a piece of paper?
No, we're not doing a close, yeah, you got to do it publicly.
Oh,
He wants the names on a piece of
Oh, on a ballot?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to have ballots printed up and
I don't have.
with their names
Just
on
do it
them.
open. Just-
All right, and let's vote.
The easiest way, Linelda, might just be to go down the row and just have everyone vote.
I'm trying to keep it as uncontroversial as possible for my last day.
Member Davis? David,
Yes.
you're,
Eve Rosen.
okay. Member Brown
I vote for Eileen.
and Chairperson Goldenberg, excuse me.
Goldenstein,
Goldenberg, excuse me.
I'll abstain at this point.
You can't abstain.
Yes.
All right, I'll vote for Eileen.
And Member Vice Chairperson Middleton
I'll vote for myself.
and Member Powell. And Member Rosen.
All right.
Okay,
Congratulations, Eileen. You are now going to be chairperson starting in June. Is there any nominations for vice chairman?
I'd like to nominate Eve.
Any other nominations? I guess we call for the vote.
If there's-
Since it's
Yeah,
de facto.
it's de
then
facto
Eve,
one nomination.
You're it.
Okay.
Congratulations
So
to all.
awesome, so.
All right. Let's do announcements. May 13th, 2025, 1 PM, special magistrate hearing. June 3rd, 1:30 PM, town commission meeting. June 10th, 1 PM, special magistrate hearing. June 12th, 2025. I will not be there at 9:30 AM, the planning board. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Done. Thank you so much for all your work and help.
Well, I know Eileen and it's not good.
Okay.
So what? are you-
Congratulations.
Are you gonna get out of work?
Well, except I know that